Bertha the Blubberer. Enormous tear ducts. Big mouth for bawling. Fingers sticky with chocolate and cake. I don't think I like her already. Bertha the Blubberer. Bertha was a blubberer. She would sob. She would howl. She would bawl. The little girl was only 8 years old, but she must have spent 7 of them blubbering. Anything and everything would set her off. I like the little arrow to the next part. Loud noise, silence, bright lights, the dark, small dogs, large dogs, medium-sized dogs, rodents of any kind, red socks, frogs, toads, tadpoles especially, bouncing balls, fireworks, dust, the heat, the cold, ducks, geese and swans, orange juice with bits in, burnt toast, kettles, stickers, wet grass, park benches, men with tattoos, low-flying aircraft, the colour purple, cat hair, rain, water slides, mud, anything made of plastic, Christmas crackers, the raisins in raisin biscuits, bouncy castles, smells of any kind, even nice ones, clouds, moustaches, vegetables, burps, monobrows, nostril hair, ear hair, anyone in a hat. The little girl had a younger brother called William. From the day he was born, Bertha was beastly to him. She hated having to share her parents' attention. Then one day, Bertha discovered a wonderful thing. She could cry and blame it all on her little brother. And the more she cried, the more attention she got. So the girl thought up more and more wicked plans to make William look horrid. Bertha's favourite ploy was to cry and cry and cry alone in her bedroom, pretending her brother had hurt her. When Mother bounded up the stairs to see what was wrong, Bertha would blub through a river of tears. Mama, it was William. He pinched me. William pinched me hard on the arm. Sometimes she would elaborate on the lie by actually pinching herself. Bertha would then offer up the very tiny red blotch on her arm as evidence of her brother's beastliness. She would wail. Then Mother would burst into her son's room next door to confront the boy. Young William was usually reading or playing quietly with his earplugs in. He had endured a lifetime of bawling and had therefore fashioned earplugs out of marshmallows so he would get on with things in peace. "Why did you pinch your darling sister?" Mother would demand. "What?" William would reply. It was hard to hear with marshmallows in his ears. "And why have you got marshmallows in your ears?" William would take out the marshmallows and protest his innocence. "I haven't touched her, Mother," the boy would plead. "I have been reading in my room the whole time." "A likely story," Mother would declare. "No pudding for you after dinner tonight." "But no pudding for a week." "But no pudding for a month." Eventually, the boy would fall silent. He liked pudding, but not as much as his sister. The little girl loved pudding, even more than she loved crying. Once at the local bakery, she even offered to swap her brother for a slice of chocolate fudge cake. It was a large slice, but still. And if there was no pudding for William, Bertha would be allowed to eat his double pudding. All Bertha had to do was roll around on her bed and blubber. On the day our story begins, the two children were left alone inside the house. Mother was in the garden, tending to her beloved roses as Father mowed the lawn. Spotting that her parents were outside, a fiendish scheme crossed Bertha's mind. It was her most devilish plot yet, breathtakingly simple, and all the more brilliant for it. The plan was this. Bertha would pull out a clump of her hair and then bawl the house down. When Mother and Father came running, the finger of blame would be pointed at poor William. Pulling out a clump of hair would appear to be William's worst crime yet. It trumped pinching, prodding, poking, biting, dead arms and dead legs. He would surely be packed straight off to an orphanage, and Bertha would have double pudding, maybe even triple pudding, every night for the rest of her life. It was glorious pudding, pudding, and more pudding. I think this girl is probably one of the worst characters I've ever read about in a book. The wicked little girl tiptoed over to her brother's room to check he was there. Indeed he was, quietly getting on with his homework with his marshmallow earplugs in as usual. Next, Bertha sneaked back to her room. She looked at herself in the mirror and began phase 1 of her plan. She reached up to her head and grabbed a clump of hair. Shutting her eyes, she yanked as hard as she could. Bertha didn't need to pretend to cry. The pain was so intense that she couldn't help but yell, "Whoa!" She examined the strands of her hair in her hand and the bald spot she had made on her head. It was about the size of a ping-pong ball. Bertha then put her ear to a bedroom door to see if her parents were on their way. Strangely, they were not. So Bertha did it again. This time she yanked even more hair from her head. and there was another bald spot. This one was the size of a tennis ball. Still, no one came running. So Bertha did it again. Wah-ha-ha-ha! And again. Wah-ha-ha-ha! And again. Wah-ha-ha-ha! I'm running out of voice. I wonder what is going to happen next. I wonder if you've got any prediction.